I think it works really well. Okay. So
Excellent.
I think it's easier to just to go like a question by question.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely.
I think first of all, how about you tell me your position and how many people you?
Oh yeah, so
you
I'm the
lead?
vice president of fasteners at Prime Store. So it's product management, and on our entire team, we have about 25 people.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Cool. Okay. So first question, how do you define leadership, and what is most difficult about it?
Yeah.
In your opinion.
Wow, I'll tell you what, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't want to spend a lot of time preparing for it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because I think you get a more real answer,
Yeah, definitely.
with thinking on the spot, right?
Your first
Your gut
feeling.
feeling.
Yeah.
So, what I define leadership as is, how do you lead a group of people to get to an achieve or the desired goal or outcome, right?
Definitely.
And so I usually, I've done a lot of jobs in my life. Like I was in the Coast Guard and I was officer in the Coast Guard, many things where I had a chance to lead. But I would say what makes leadership tough is that you have to make tough calls about your people. You have to achieve the goal. Maybe not everybody's happy with that goal.
Yeah, definitely.
So you got to have everybody galvanized to get around the mission, and then you have to help that group get rid of the obstacles, make sure they're ready and they're capable of getting to it. I really believe in leadership by example. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's what I would define leadership as, right? How do you get a group of individuals to a desired goal?
Yeah, definitely too. Yeah, there's definitely a goal part. Second one, as a leader, what are the personal skills and actions you use to lead your team?
Yeah. And Richard, please eat, because I don't want you. If you
Okay,
want
yeah.
this, otherwise,
Right.
yeah, eat while we're talking.
Yeah.
So I think leadership, it takes a blend of many different things. Sometimes you have to make very difficult calls, and so you have to be almost brutal in your assessment of people and their capabilities. At the other extreme, sometimes you have to be very sympathetic to what your people are going through and understand how you can make their lives better or what you can do to support them. You've got to have great analytical skills. Because at the end of the day, in the business world, your decisions have to be based on, analytics and business acumen. And you can look up that word, but basically it means your ability to make the right business decisions. So, using analytics, using data, so you can make fact-based decisions is very important. So I think that's another very important skill set. You've got to be hardworking because you're the leader. You lead by example, so you need to be able to work harder than your team. I don't think people enjoy working for someone who works less hard than they do.
Definitely. Yeah. Great. You definitely. Yeah, for me, definitely leaders has to be, like you said, even working harder rather than, just say it and there's no action. That's
Right.
Okay, this one, this is a hard question for me at least. So it's what is your worst failure or mistake, and then what is your greatest accomplishment and success, and how do you gain experiences from those things, and what do you do differently from those experiences?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I'll take greatest accomplishment first. So I think what we've done here at Prime Source in a short amount of time has been our greatest accomplishment. When I took over this role, we had to change out the team almost completely. We have, and Elmo could tell you this, for people in their current roles, we have very few people that are in the same role that when we started.
Wow.
So that's massive change, and so with that, you have to train everybody and have them come to speed. During that, our objective was to get cost out, and as a group, we did. We probably saved the company 10 to 15 million each year of the past 2 years.
Wow.
That's massive.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so that's been a huge accomplishment, and there was a lot of hard work by the team, everybody pulling together, a lot of training. We had to have not only new people, we had a new system. We went to SAP during that period, which was so hard on the team. So we had a lot of issues overseas with pollution control in China, mills being closed due to regulatory issues.
Heard of.
A lot going on.
Crazy.
So that's been the biggest accomplishment. The biggest, area where I could have done better, biggest failure. I think in some ways it's still the same job. I think we could have gone faster. I don't think I gave enough time to train everybody and give them personal coaching. I got so caught up in some of the work myself that I didn't do a good enough job helping and teaching during this past period. So that's my answer.
Okay. So I get it from, I think, the same task, but same achievement, but different perspective.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I was very focused on the goal and the goal of the team, but I probably did it as a sacrifice to helping and coaching the people on the team.
Yeah, that definitely. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I think then you mean if you could have done it differently, probably you probably would do it a different way or something like that.
If I would have done it differently, I would try to spend more time on training and coaching. But actually, I think what we needed was more people to get the job done, to free me up to spend more time on training and coaching.
Got it. Yeah. Got it. Okay, this one kind of relate to what your answer for the previous question. So, what issues come up in leading teams versus motivating individuals, and how are they same or different?
Yeah, it's easy. Leading individuals is much more straightforward because it's a one-on-one relationship, and you can deal with the specific issues to that person, whether it be their training, their skill set, their will to do the job, whatever, right? When you have a team, then all the team dynamics come into play. So it's not only how you relate to one person, but how the team relates to themselves. So the best way to make a team work well together is the team has to have a goal. And everybody in the team is working towards that goal and that mission. So you get alignment. If you don't have that, then the team won't pull together in the same direction. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's like everyone has their own goals, but the team has their. It's like probably a separate person. So it's just it's harder, but it's interdependent. Makes sense. Okay. I don't quite get this question, but I'm gonna just ask it.
Yeah.
So, who are your most important social resources or person you network with, and why?
Oh, that's a good question. Can I read the question just to make sure I got it?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
The fifth one.
All right.
I hope you can read my handwriting.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. So,
I guess it means.
I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, honestly, I don't really get it initially when I read it. I guess for me, if you ask me, I thought it's like in the organization, do I get where do I get the information, or like socially, or but I'm not sure if.
I'll take it from a networking. I mean, so I have a set of friends outside of work that are very important to me.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a set of friends too that are more kind of business related, not in my current business, but they can tell me about other businesses. People I can share
that's really
what I'm learning, what they're learning.
Yeah.
People I can go to for advice. Like when I came to this company and I was negotiating my contract, I had many friends I could talk to that had been through that were helping me to guide through that.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's important. It's great to have a network of people, peers, people in your same place you are, and then mentors, people that have been there and done that can help guide you.
Yeah. So you mean normally you go to your friends, right? That's outside of your work, but are those friends your, like say, your previous coworkers?
Some of them maybe, but some of them may be peers, people on my level, and some may be senior, previous senior, so they can tell me what they did in life to get there, so I can follow.
Yeah. Got it.
Outside of work, yes.
Yeah. Basically, so it's also about their experience, right? So,
exactly. But some of them are inside of work too. But
great.
It's good to have a mentor.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel that way because for me, I never really had a mentor, so I have to figure out a lot of things myself. Along the way, I think it's really hard, and sometimes I think a lot of for me the career change or advancement really comes from the network.
Yeah,
definitely. That's really.
I agree.
Okay, so this one is about. So, what role do personal values and ethics play in your leadership, and why?
That's critical. I mean, I think one of the most important things that a leader can have is a moral compass and ethics to do the right thing. I don't think anybody in the world wants to work for somebody who is a liar, cheater, stealer, right?
No one.
So being ethically moral high ground is critical, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, the team will never follow you. They'll never trust you. And trust is a big part of leadership.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, I think for a leader, definitely trust is probably the most important thing. Okay, this is the last one, but this one is. I think actually this question is it's really fit for you because they ask, do you think leadership in your arena, which is the business, is different from other areas? But I know your background, you have Army background.
I have a lot of different,
you have
Coast Guard,
Yeah, Coast Guard, sorry. So I'm just saying, so you definitely have different leadership experience.
Right.
So I just want to hear, what advice do you wish you had been given before, so you can give me.
I think that's good. 7?
Yes.
Let me read it.
Yeah, this is
your handwriting's very good.
Yeah, this is a long question, so I just don't.
Yeah, so let me, excuse me. I'll get her in a second. So what I would say is, hi, I'm ready for the check. You can let her know. Thank you. I'm paying for this.
No, let me do it.
No. I insist.
No, I insist. No, I invite you. No, I invite you. And it's my time to show appreciation. No. Don't do it the Chinese way.
No. Chinese way, no. It's mine. So I insist. Next time you can take me out.
Okay.
But so leadership in the military and leadership in the business world, there's parts of it that are the same and parts of it that are very different, right? In the business world, it's you're focused on these metrics, business metrics. In the world of like military, or the Coast Guard, it's more operational objectives, right? Which can have some similarity, but like we would have to board so many ships and try to search for drugs and or find illegal immigrants or go to Desert Storm or Desert Shield. I was over there. And you have military objectives you need to hit. Not far different from having a business objective you need to hit, except for, there's lives at stake. There's an added sense of urgency, right? I mean, that's it. And with that greater risk of people and personnel, I think there's a heightened sensitivity to it, right? But in the business world, it's very important to hit those same objectives as well. You just aren't, you don't want anybody dying on the way, right? Obviously. You never do it the other way, but that could happen. But the leader, I think in military, it's much more team-centric. And there's that bond of the team is more important than it is in the business world. But it's still important. And the more you can use that in the business world, I think the better off that you are. And the better off the team will do, the better off you can do. So you can learn a lot from the military and apply it to business world.
The team building process, probably. Yeah, definitely. I can imagine that part is probably the key in the military.
Go ahead. There may be more.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I have from the required question. So
I like your questions.
Yeah, yes, that definitely. So these are really good questions, and I can relate a lot of them to the material taught in class. I think here I hear what you said. I think it's a one big thing is the team mission, and the team really works as a team, like each individual in that team to have that same mission, right? I really like that part, and I think that's related to the military leadership to build like a united team. That's really cool. So I think leadership. So do you think? Because for me, is we talk about the two kind of leadership. One is you have a goal and everyone follows you and you are the best in that area, right? The other one is more like charismatic. It's more like your character. You probably don't do the same job as they do, but you have that personality that people wants to follow you. So, which one do you think is more how to say
effective?
Yeah, effective, or you say more often?
Give me 1 second. Yes, please. But I think I've worked for a lot of charismatic leaders, and they're fantastic. Here you go. You can come back. I've worked for a ton of charismatic leaders, and I think they just have a huge advantage. And unfortunately, I think people have that or they don't. And I think you can develop some of it, but some are just naturally charismatic, and you'll follow that person anywhere, and you'll do anything for them, right? If you don't have that, most of us don't. I think very few people have that. Then all the other things that you can learn, leading for a common goal, having clear objectives, getting the team together, all those other things can be learned and pulled together. And so, that's what people like you and I may use, right? But there's nothing wrong with that either. But charismatic, if you have it, people will just naturally follow you. Now, sometimes that can be bad because it can be a crutch. You may not have objectives, you may not have goals, you may not worry about the team, and you're so good and so natural that people want to follow you, you don't develop those other things that are very important as well, right? So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely agree. Like I'm not. I don't think I'm a. I'm a like.
I'm a little bit, but man, there's so many people that are so much better than me. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I like it. What you said that some of the things that we can learn or we can train, right? So some parts probably it's a boring, but still, yeah, I really like that part. Yeah.
So how do you guys like Dallas?
We like it really.
How long have you guys been?
All 8 years something.
8 years in Dallas.
Yeah, we like it.